Hey, nerds! It's Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Exclusive tabletop game podcast for the Pacific Northwest. All levels of gamers. Analog gaming. Tabletop news. Dungeons and Dragons and magic. Stupid, mindless banter.
There will definitely be some. That's probably our best. That's our best feature.
Hey geeks, Blue Samurai here, and I'm with
Rebeculus, and we're with.
I'm still Paul.
And it's episode 52.
52, and we're certain about that.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to check right now. Yes, 52.
Okay.
And
excellent.
we got a great show.
We do.
Yes, we got.
Don't we always?
Part due. I think is that due? Did I get that right?
Duh. It's
Okay, duh. Well, anyway, 2 of the Waterdeep Dragon Heist review, and this time we have the DM's spoilerific version.
Yes.
So if you're a player that's going to play this, don't listen. Unless, of course, you're chaotic evil. You should definitely listen to this episode.
Or if you're really good at separating what the player knows versus what the character knows.
Or if you just want to cheat.
That's
just listen.
true. That's true. And I did that. There was a lot of things that I knew that I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't want to know anything. I don't even listen to many episodes of Dragon Talk. Because they talk about things that are going to be in the next module all the time.
But he listens to it later.
I listen to it later because I love Dragon Talk.
Yes.
I like to read the last pages in books before I read the books. I want to know what's going to happen.
Like the bibliography.
I want to know who dies before I
Right.
start watching this movie. I don't like to be surprised.
Okay.
Understood.
Unless you're going to give me $1 million, then freaking surprise me.
But that's the only thing, that's the biggest thing we got going on for this episode.
Yeah.
But we've got other things going on, and of course we've got some con news, we've got some tabletop game news, but before we do that, let me just remind everyone that we are available on all the platforms out there. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can check us out on SoundCloud. I think it's called Apple Play now, not iTunes.
It's Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcast, okay. Stitcher, Google Play, yada, yada, yada.
Is anybody out there using Overcast as a podcast? That's a new one.
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, that's great.
Right.
I guess we're on Overcast
Or,
too then.
you know what you could do to communicate the fact that you're using particular podcasts? You could
Call
do
you
what?
at home?
Or,
Send a subspace message.
yes,
Smoke signal.
telepathy.
Yeah.
Or you can just email us at geeksofcascadia@gmail.com or Facebook us at Geeks of Cascadia and Twitter at Geeks of Cascadia.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Instagram?
We have that
we
too.
do.
It's harder to communicate through pictures.
we do.
Not necessarily. I'm sure
there were
plenty of
1,000
cavemen
words.
would be insulted.
So, what do we got for con news, Paul?
Con news. We got some super fun stuff. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Flying Heritage and Combat Armor Museum.
Yes. I mean, yes. Yes.
Everyone likes fighter planes and tanks. I think.
Who doesn't?
They're
Who
wonderful.
doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they've got
that's all I dream
their big event is Sky Fair. It's coming up July 20th.
Is that a James Bond movie?
I think that's Skyfall.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're flying airplanes, they're driving tanks around, they're shooting guns. This all happens in Everett.
Do they
at
drive
Plainfield.
tanks over airplanes?
They might.
That I would
They
watch.
might. So it's a sampling. This starts at 10 a.m. when the doors open. And some of the artifacts they're going to have a Hellcat flying demonstrations with a Hellcat, a P-51, a P-40, a Hurricane, and a B-25. They're going to demonstrate an 88 flak gun, Sherman tank, an M60, an M31A half-track, a Kettenkraftstod. I think that's a German
Sure,
one.
absolutely.
Kittencraft dog?
Kittencraft dog. Spitfire,
cute.
Hurricane,
And a
P-47.
dog.
It's going to be totally cool. It's going to be very noisy around my house.
You going?
No.
Why don't you
I
go?
work on the weekends.
You should take that off and
I already took-
do
Right.
an interview of some interesting folks at
That's
the Sky
right.
Fair near your home.
Well, what I'm going to do instead is
Speculous did that.
I took off.
Not even near my home. What'd
I
you take
took
off?
I think it's the following Sunday. That's the induction of Edgar Martinez into the Hall of Fame.
Are you going to interview people there?
I'm going to sit on my couch and drink beer and watch Edgar Martinez get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, maybe you can interview yourself.
I could. Yes, or
Okay,
my wife.
there you go. Great.
She swears too much. So that's super fun. Saturday, July 20th, 10 o'clock. And jumping to August, we've got the Washington Midsummer Renaissance Fair, August 3rd and 4th in Bonning Lake.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Bunny Lake.
Yes,
Oh,
because it's such a nice, pretty lake.
Sorry.
And my whole internet just stopped working at all. Looks really cool. Starts at 10 a.m. They're also doing the next weekend as well,
I just want to say,
the
if
10th and 11th.
we had a green screen, we could do some little Renaissance
I'm not
things
doing
back
all of
here
that.
when he's
I'm barely able to do the work that I do now.
You could be like a knight. I could be a jester, and then Paul
Strive
can
to be
be
better.
a hunk of meat.
I will. I have a
Yeah.
jester hat. I have one.
We also have August 9th through 11th is Kuro NikoCon in Spokane, Washington.
What's it called?
As Kuro NikoCon.
Pretty good.
It's an anime convention.
Just trying to trip
as
him up.
as
You
a
did not trip
Japanese
up.
person,
Yeah.
you did an
Are you
okay job.
Japanese?
I am. Yeah. You didn't know that?
Well, I knew you were an ease of a kind.
I am an ease.
But-
Yeah.
They have a bunch of cosplay and anime stuff going on. Your Anime Paradise in Spokane.
Oh, okay.
It is $40
Didn't know I had an anime
for the full
paradise.
weekend badge. Also going on in Spokane, the same weekend, a competing convention. Oh my God.
What?
Really? Why are they doing this?
They should not.
Spokon.
Oh, I love that.
See what they did with that?
Oh, that's
Spokon.
a
I
cool
like that.
thing.
Yeah, it's a science fiction and fantasy convention. So if you like nerdy stuff that isn't anime, there's a con for you going on that same weekend.
Ooh, they should fight each
Is
other.
it? Oh, it's at the Davenport, the historic Davenport Hotel, which I hear is very nice.
It is nice. I've been there.
All right. And so that looks really cool. And also coming up in August is one of my favorite conventions. It is called Dragonflight.
Ooh, I've got a suite there.
Yeah, I've got a suite there as well.
All right.
Not the fancy one that you have.
I do not.
Once
have a
again,
suit
I'll
there.
be throwing food down at your feet.
That's right. It's going to be Hunger Games
There
style
you go,
again.
yes.
So game signups for Dragonflight are live. They just went live on the 1st. So if there's a game you want to play, get on tabletop.events and sign up for it.
Is there going to be a Yahtzee table?
You never know.
Whatever you want.
That might be how they roll.
It's nice
Sure.
to know Yahtzee's not frowned upon. in
Yahtzee's
this
a
day
fun
and age.
game.
It's
Yahtzee's a good
stood
game.
the test of time.
Yeah. There's a reason for that.
We'll be there. We will be there.
We will be there.
One of us we gotta email them. We gotta get a media badge.
I was
want
just
to do
gonna
that.
pay for it.
Well, we're gonna need probably a media badge.
Okay.
Maybe we
Yeah.
should discuss this.
Table. Yeah, we'll
At
do
some
that
other
later.
time.
This is offline, yeah.
We'll do our planning
Yeah.
another time. Speaking of
Yeah.
planning, OrcaCon is coming up
Nope. Ooh, what? Wow,
in
okay.
January. 10th, 11th, and 12th. If you want to run a game submissions just went live today for OrcaCon. So go to the website, orcacon.org, and fill out the form to submit the games that you want to run. If you don't fill it out, they're not going to let you run your game.
Right.
But again, book a room. We got food trucks again, tons of game space, more parking this year.
Those are good food trucks. I wish I had
They're
gone
very
there
good food
enough
trucks.
where I could have sampled.
The
from
person
each
who was
one,
in
but I missed
charge
it.
of food trucks does a very good job, and she's
Yeah.
very selective.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yes. And that's what I have for convention news.
All right. That's
That was
that's
great.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I know. I feel like we should positively reinforce each other after we've
We
done a
should.
segment.
Actually, could you do a big shout out because we should thank them? I know, and I always thank Tabletop Gaming News because they're awesome. That's how I get my tabletop gaming news. But on this, there's a Facebook page for all the conventions.
Northwest Convention League. It's NWCL. If you search that on Facebook, it'll take you right there. There's a list of all the conventions that are going on.
No, Cole, no. Yeah, I can't make a word out of that.
North-
Sorry.
I'm joining the group.
That's good.
Wow. He's joining right
As
now.
Geeks of Cascadia.
Live on
Yeah,
the air.
Boom.
He's joining.
They've got a pinned tweet that they update, and there's a giant list of all the conventions going on in the near to not near future.
Well, I'm sure we have some awesome gaming news. Rebeculous, what do you got?
Well, we do have some awesome gaming news. And this was new. Last week's not quite as new, so I can't find the page. But this one's for Polly. Still Paul.
Oh yeah.
There's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Oh,
board
Buffy the
game
Vampire
that
Slayer.
you can
They're doing
actually
that
now
again.
buy everywhere.
This is like the third one I think they've
Is
made.
it really? I was not aware of this. I just thought you'd want to be kept abreast of
I
all
do.
things Buffy.
I do want to be kept abreast.
Yes, by Jasco Games. You can
Oh.
be either Buffy or Willow or Spike. I know I can't find it
That's
on
not
here.
it.
No, this is the other one. Don't look at my stuff. It won't be a surprise. So
That one's Voldemort.
you and your friends will help Buffy defend the town of Sunnydale from an onslaught of vampires and demons, of course, because that's what she does. So, and then something about keeping the Hellmouth from opening. So, Jasco Games. It's a great name for a D&D character, isn't it? Jasco?
Jasco is a great name.
Now I can't use it because it's here. So as you just saw...
People will kill your character and then...
Kill my character.
Make a new one.
So as you were looking over my shoulder, there is also a new Harry Potter game. Has there been other Harry Potter games so far?
Yes.
There must be.
Yes.
Death Eaters Rising.
Ooh.
It's from USAopoly, and supposedly it's kind of built around the 5th movie, Order of the Phoenix.
Awesome.
Something like that.
Yes.
So it's a bunch of misfit wizards versus he who must not be named.
Voldemort?
That's the guy that you're not supposed to name. And it's a card and dice game, and it looks really fun. It's a pretty pox, and there's a picture of little Ralph Fiennes with his flat nose on there.
Oh, I'm glad I wore my Quidditch shirt today.
See, me too. That's neat. What position do you play?
Bludger?
Okay, that's funny. So Kickstarters, where I got some of these. Mini Blitz by Blitz Built Games. This looks so cute to me. It's probably a kid's game. I don't know, but it looks really cute. It's Legos and cards. You use little Lego minifigures and equipment cards, and you can play by yourself with a little starter deck, or you can have 2 to 4 players. They're almost funded. There's 2 weeks left to go on Kickstarter. Mini Blitz, and it says all they have to do is pay the printer. So I don't know what that means, if the printer's holding their stuff hostage.
Or maybe they're kids.
Yeah, or maybe the kids. I don't know. But anyway, looks cute. Mini Blitz, Lego game. Children of the Beast is a game by this person from Seattle named Nicholas Kitts, and it's like Bloodborne meets D&D. I don't know Bloodborne. Have you played Bloodborne? I don't know this game.
But I play D&D.
It is a tabletop monster hunting RPG where you evolve your character by consuming the creatures you kill. Now, I don't want to get too involved, but look at
We have it right there.
Right
and then do you have a
there.
D&D one
Bloodborne.
next
Paul,
to
could-
it?
yeah,
we
could
can
you do
just
that? Could a
make
digital
them meet
Bloodborne right
like
there?
that?
I might.
That's great.
Yeah, okay, great.
So basically, 10 years ago, a disease began to spread, and it twisted the bodies of the infected, making them sprout limbs and eyes from every orifice. It says that right here, and I wanted to read that sentence.
Gross.
I know. I'm not even going to read anymore. That's
Even my cloaca?
and even out of your cloaca. You just pulled out cloaca.
That's good.
Wow,
You know,
dude.
not everybody has one.
Why do you guys know more zoology than I freaking do? That's not right. Okay, so anyway, you're supposed to stop the... I really just wanted to read that sentence. So you're supposed to stop the spread of the disease, and all the players have this immunity. You're not going to sprout eyes and limbs out of every orifice. Don't worry. Children of the Beast. Maniacal laughter. When you edit the
Very
sound,
nice.
please do something.
I can just do it myself.
Yeah. Apparently...
Mwah.
Okay, that's really good. It comes with a free companion app for Android, and they have adventures and kind of like the D&D Beyond thing for Children of the Beast. We have this little thing called Dance Card that is also on Kickstarter here. I didn't even click on this because it gave me bad high school flashbacks. But
They used dance cards in high school?
Wow.
What year did you go to school? 1930?
well, I grew up in Minnesota, so we have an excess of.
You were a
old things.
flapper?
Yeah, I'm not going to respond to that. So, yeah, Kickstarter, you fill your dance card, and whoever dances with everyone on their dance card first wins, and there's a whole bunch of little faces that you can punch out and put in your dance card, and there's little figurines, and I don't know, I can't see close enough to see if there's, like, nerds or, like, cool kids or jocks there. Hopefully they represented everybody.
Are there like wallflowers and
look at
stuff
that.
that don't want to
Look at
dance?
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I don't know. If you don't want to dance, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, maybe Paul can put
Maybe
the
there's-
picture right here.
Maybe I can.
Maybe he could. Dance card from somebody from some game.
On Kickstarter right now.
Somebody.
Kickstarter, yes.
That's
okay.
great.
All right,
Okay.
hold on. I have one more. Don't
Okay,
go.
dude.
Don't
All
go.
right, we're not
Bipolar.
going anywhere.
All right. We have Urzan Liberty Core. This is a game that you need to have a 3D printer for if you're one of those rare people that
So,
has one.
those that have
But
one.
check this out.
Okay.
It's so freaking cute. I can't even stand it. It's from Ill-Gotten Games. The goal's already been met like 100 times over. Stop hitting the table. And It is teddy bear soldiers, and they have all kinds of different
Oh.
teddy bear. I know, yeah.
Do they explode in balls of?
I don't think so
Stuffing?
because that's what you're printing out of your 3D printer.
okay.
And there's little teddy bears, and they have little commandos and
They look
little
like Ewoks.
rangers.
Teddy bears-
Yes, I think that's the whole thing. And
Commando
Urzan,
teddy bears are just Ewoks. Are they just trying not to get sued? Is that the thing?
Possibly.
Yeah, it could be.
Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they didn't have this big purple thing in Star Wars.
Okay.
So,
No, they didn't.
But
It looks really cool.
You, can have
You
a
should
whole-
get it.
It's the ULC, the Urzan Liberty Corps. There's ground pounders. Is that an army term?
Infantry. I love
Special
infantry.
weapons, field commander, medic, and commandos. You know, going commando.
Are they wearing
Could
pants?
They're not
All sorts of
They're
things.
not wearing pants. They are in
Wow.
fact all going commando, and it's
All
so
right.
cute because they're teddy bears. It's not dirty at all. Anyway, Urzan Liberty Corps ULC
right.
from Ill-Gotten Games. I have I don't want to do Ascension of the Galaxy. That looked really cool, actually, Ascension of the Galaxy, but it looked kind of like something else.
Okay.
But wait a minute.
All right.
Wait a minute. Buffy, Harry Potter, Dance Card, Children of the Beast. Yeah, I'm done.
Wait, I
All
got
right.
one.
Wait.
Oh,
Ollie's
okay,
got one.
go
Let me
ahead.
jump in. So we don't want to be remiss and not talk about the
Oh, that's right.
the D&D Essentials kit,
Yes.
which is now
No
currently only available at Target,
goodness.
Right.
but it's going to be available everywhere here in a week or so.
Right, and if you buy it at Target, though, they give you a coupon so that you can get it free on D&D Beyond.
What's
You
in
don't
it?
get
Why
that
is
if
it
you buy it at the
essential?
game store?
No,
Oh,
not yet.
that's too
Anyway,
bad.
I don't know.
What's in it? What's in
Because
it? What's in it?
everything
What's
you
in
need
it?
to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Everything?
Yes.
Everything.
Is there a sack?
Dice, character sheets.
Are there sacks for your dice?
You can just
For
keep-
those of us who don't have sacks.
you can
for
just-
our dice.
You can just keep track of your dice yourself. But the couple really cool
It's not
things
essential.
is you can play this one-on-one. One player, one DM.
Right.
Because there's this new sidekick system where you can have a player and a sidekick player. And so-
Which is pretty cool.
It's
'Cause
very
we have
cool.
that in our game, actually.
Yeah.
You have a sidekick.
yeah. And you
Actually,
can,
that sounds like it would be boring one-on-one.
No,
No?
it's
yeah.
pretty fun. Yeah.
It's still cooperative storytelling.
Yeah, levels 1 through 6. The dungeon itself is called, or the campaign itself is called Dragon of Icepire Peak. So maybe a dragon's involved. I don't know.
What if you're playing with your buddy and you're like just got in a fight or something, and then you're like playing it,
you
and
have
you
to-
just like
Find a new buddy.
Right. Or you use the game to build a bridge back to each other.
That's right.
Aw,
Thank you.
whoever's editing, put a little heart.
The more you know, Rainbow. Okay.
So go ahead, Steve.
Yes, I've got two things that I want to talk about, and that is from Forge World. We've got a new figurine for the Necromunda game that from Games Workshop. So those opposed to House Kador must face judgment. Those within House Kador must remain vigilant. Why? Because the headsman isn't going to just hang out doing nothing all day, and that's
like
for
that.
Necromunda. I miss Necromunda. I can't play it anymore because nobody around here near me plays it, or maybe somebody does, and you can just email me and we can play. The other thing I want to give a shout out to, and I just noticed, is Pacific Rim Extinction now available for pre-order from River Horse? Question
River
mark?
Horse?
Yeah,
Is it
I think
horse?
that's a game company. But anyway,
HORSE?
it says it is. Yeah, River Horse. Like
Okay,
a
because
river
that's not what I'm hearing.
and a horse. Anyway, so if you like fighting kaiju and you like those movies, Pacific Rim, check that out. So it's available for pre-order. I'm looking at it. It's like, ooh, got some pretty cool figures. It's got a little big kaiju and a big, what do you call those? Jaegers, right?
Jaegers?
I think they're
Oh,
called the
man.
Jaegers, yes, from the movie. But anyway, it's cool. Check it out. So
Why'd you pick
Oh,
out
yes,
Pacific
that
Rim?
movie, yes.
Did you have time, personal?
I'm sorry, I'm
I love
100%
kaiju.
paying attention now.
Oh, good, good. So I think that's about it we have for news, con news, and everything else. We should probably just go right into our
We got
great review.
one more thing we got to talk
ahead,
about.
Go ahead.
I love it when people leave comments on our YouTube videos. Did you get my email?
I did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff Rainwater,
Thank you,
for
Jeff.
watching a video
Yes.
and commenting that Blue Samurai is great.
Yes, I hope you rated us.
Oh man,
Please.
Please.
Did he really say
Please,
that?
pretty please,
Thumbs up.
pretty
That
please.
you're great.
Yeah, that's pretty
It did.
nice.
It was the
Thank you.
Orcacon tour. We might do one of those
That's
for
really
Dragonflight if
sweet.
we remember.
Yes. Are you going to Dragonflight?
Sure. We can do interviews and like
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
included and shit. Or are
Absolutely.
you guys gonna shun me? I'm
Absol-
sorry, I
No.
said shit.
Twice.
I just did twice. Well, we do got to get
You
media
do within
badges,
the
but we will
same-
talk about that later.
Yes.
So, with that, let's go into the review. Spoiler, 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 spoiler of
Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Yes.
Yep, that's the thing.
Let's do that.
That's it.
You're listening to Geeks of Cascadia, Behind the DM Screen. Hey geeks! Welcome to Behind the DM Screen. I'm Blue Samurai.
I'm Steve.
I'm Rebeculous.
I'm still Paul.
And welcome to part 2 of Waterdeep Dragon Heist game review. This is the DM's version, so it's going to be spoilery. So spoiler warnings. Spoiler.
Spoiler.
That's right. Lots of spoilers. So we're going to go in depth into this. We're going to tell a lot of secrets about it. We're going to talk about our experience. And I would like to say that our review of the campaign
Is the best.
it is the best because
great.
I've watched other reviews on other podcasts and they haven't actually played it.
Yeah. Why review something you haven't
I
played?
know. It's like,
I
how
don't
do you
understand
know?
that. It's
You
like-
know who you are.
It's like when people review video games before they come out.
That's right.
How does that work?
I don't know. It's like they like read the book and they go, well, I think this campaign is blah blah blah. Well, how do you know? Never played it. Well, I do want to put a shout out to the people that designed this. So I'm going right off the book. Chris Perkins, lead designer. James Heck.
Heck.
Matt Cernit. Also,
You're skipping ones you can't.
because
Pronounce
I can't
Adam
see
Lee.
Adam
Just
Lee.
say their first
I can't
names.
even see it. Yeah, I should
Go ahead
probably
and
get
put
my
your
glasses.
Put your glasses on.
I should do that. I can't seem to find it. But a big old shout out to Kate Irwin, who's the art director, who got all the wonderful artists who made their little art.
Yeah, the art's great.
Way to
Yeah.
go, Kate.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Kate.
Really good.
In fact, if you ever have a first edition module, or you can Google it and compare the art to today's art, far superior.
Oh,
Far
Earl
superior.
Otis was the best D&D artist ever.
So, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, again, this is the DM's version. I do want to say a couple of things that I want to correct some mistakes that we might have made, and some things that we kind of hid because it was the player's version last time. For one, the City of Dead. I had mentioned
The Dead.
that nothing really happens there. You can't really, there's no things to look for. The reason we said that is because it was the player's version. There's actual tombs and dungeons there that you can explore, but
What?
we can't really say anything that one. It's really up to the players to kind of figure that out as they stumble along there. Also, there was a little dispute. We said the Yanni portal was in the castle ward, it's in the dock ward. It's kind of like on the border. Technically, it is in the castle ward, but it's also close to the dock ward. Minor thing, not a big deal. The black staff, the position. We kind of said that the black. We might have inferred the black staff controls Force Grey. Really, she does manage it and everything, but really it's the Open Lord who makes the final decision, mobilizes Force Grey. Blackstaff does pick who will be on a particular mission. Also, she runs the academy. So again, the Open Lord really runs everything. So that was the only minor things that we got wrong as I reviewed it from last time.
Can I just say
Yeah,
that
go
when
ahead.
I first heard of the yawning portal, I thought you said Yanni portal,
Yeah,
like the
it's-
musician. Like it's not. It's yawning. It's not Yanni. Has
That's a
nothing to do with
different
that guy.
different
Different adventure.
place.
Yeah.
He should have his own adventure though.
Yeah, should.
Anyway, thanks.
So let's talk about Waterdeep Dragon Heist. First of all, what a great campaign, and really it's really in two parts. And I think I was talking to Steve about this last week. It's really in two parts. It's the adventure, and it's also the campaign setting.
Yeah. And really, it's the interesting thing is it gives you a whole bunch of stuff on Waterdeep. I mean, there's the enchilada or whatever you call that, telling you about Waterdeep itself and all the information. But it gives you a lot of characters and NPCs and factions and all this for running a campaign in Waterdeep.
Right. You could homebrew something using this book.
Well, and there's it gives you 4 main villains, potential villains. You get to choose one by season that you want to run, the 1 through 5 level starting game in Waterdeep.
Right.
But it gives one of the things is it gives like the layers of all these villains. You're never going to get there when you're 5th level. It really sets you up to have a whole bunch of stuff so you can run a 5-level game, and then now you pick your next adventure in Waterdeep, and you have all this information to draw on. You have NPCs that they might have met. Maybe they're just a minor NPC in the first bit, but then you can become a recurring character that they know, and it's like a foe or a contact or something.
We got to know one of the City Watch guys really well.
Yeah, exactly. And so and there's a bunch of people you haven't met yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can like pick, maybe I'll pick this second villain to be, our 6 through 10 level adversary, and come up with a plot, and it all just kind of works. It's really a campaign.
What I like is that you can replay this again and have a totally different enemy, totally different result from this.
A totally different houseboy? Is there set up that everyone gets a barmy, or was that we just did that?
You guys just
Nice.
So let's go into let's go into the structure of this of how this campaign is done, this adventure, and then we'll go into what we experience. So how this breaks down, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, is you have to go through chapter 1, which is basically a friend in need. You'll meet with, you run into Bolo, and Bolo will set you up with the campaign. And who is it? We had to find somebody on that one, right?
You had to find Floon. Floon is so Renier Neverember, who is he's a friend of Renier Neverember's. Renier's the actual target. Floon gets captured by somebody, one of these 4 different adversaries, and Vola hires you to go find him. And Floon's kind of just like a frat boy, kind of fool type of guy. But that's where the intro picks up. The way we started was a little different. Instead of jumping straight into it, we had 6 players, and they all came up with characters, and I had everybody pair up with somebody they knew.
Yeah.
Right. And
So instead of bringing 6 disparate people, and you had 3 couples of people who kind of knew each other.
That was
Some
fun.
of us already had factions, I believe, too, right? I'm just talking to the other folks.
I didn't.
I think you did, Ridiculous, didn't
No, I got into it.
No.
Later? Okay.
Who had,
You probably don't remember
That
because
liar
you're busy
Bill.
drooling over
Bill had a
Volo.
faction. He
Yeah.
was a faction.
I love Bolo. He's great.
But yeah, we had basically Team Hippie, which was the Druid and Ranger.
Oh yeah,
We had Team Scum, which were the Waterdeep Street Kids,
Trying to bring it back.
Lord and Fighter, and then Team Fancy Pants, which was your Wizard and then the Paladin.
So, as you do the first chapter and you try to rescue Floon, and then you run into Rainier, and then, but we'll talk about that later. You notice that there's a conflict between the Xanathar and the Zentarum, and that's kind of the whole setup of this. And then you find out about the 500,000 dragons or gold pieces that are hidden underneath somewhere in Waterdeep from Dagalt Neverember, who embezzled all the money, basically. Yeah. So. After that, and you solve this, you go back to Volo. Volo offers you a reward, but he doesn't have any money, so he gives you a title to an inn.
Well, and we had, actually, let's maybe something we should cut into first. Really, there are 4 villains, potential villains. One of them is going to be the bad guy for this series, and you choose it by month. Or by season. So, like, we did summer, so this took place in summer for us, and that was Victoria Castellanter, or the Castellanters were the main villain. And then Xanathar can be one of the villains. I think he's spring? I don't remember.
I have it right here. So, summer's Asmodeus, spring...
Okay, fall is...
Xanathar.
Okay, fall is... spring is Xanathar. Summer is the Castellanters. Fall is Jarlaxle, and then Manshoon is winter.
Right.
So you're going to go through the same kind of basic plot, but who's behind it changes, and that'll change some of the scenes during the first adventure.
Right, and maybe we can have the flow chart right here. somewhere.
Maybe.
Looking to our video editing dude.
We'll give it a try.
So basically,
might be
again,
one there now.
everyone has to go through chapter 1, A Friend in Need. The second one, everyone has to go through Troll Skull Alley. You're establishing the end, maybe some downtime.
Yeah, you find this, you get gifted or rewarded a deed to an inn.
Right.
Instead of getting
in the
paid.
North.
Right.
Instead of getting paid.
And then
Money pit.
and then the fireball incident, there's an explosion outside your inn, you investigate, and that starts the story going. But as a DM, you probably have to figure out who the baddie is before this all happens. And for you, and this is where Steve was talking about the different seasons. The 4 seasons, whatever season you pick, will determine the baddie in this. Steve, why did you pick the one that you picked? Summer.
I picked the Castellanters because they're devil worshippers, and it seemed the darkest of all of these. Mm-hmm. And I had early on, I had kind of this idea I'm going to use all these guys because I wanted to fit everything in. There's so much stuff. I ended up backing off of that and just kind of going straight primarily with the Castellanters. Because I think, the way we played it, we had
Because we
30 sessions
screw
or
around
something.
too much, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was screwing around too.
And we got off track for a while.
yeah, but that's fine. It's D&D. But it was taking a while, so I kind of, after all, I was like, I'm just trying to fit too much into this. So I just really picked one, and I figured I saved the other stuff for later. But mostly because it was dark.
I have a question for our DM. Not going to pick apart every decision you made, but during the explosion or just after the explosion, is that written in the children that died, or did you just want to toss that
halflings.
in
Oh,
there?
it is in there.
Bernie
I read it.
and
Halflings-
Asha
the
and all
halflings
the-
died.
Yeah, there's a bunch of...
Okay, good.
I
Just
worked
wondered how
them
dark
in
you
ahead
go.
of time, so you got to know them before they blew up. Because I thought that might be nice.
You were trying to get us to cry.
That actually affected me emotionally.
Really?
Yeah, playing a halfling.
Is that why you're so keen on Barmy?
Meeting the halflings, and then having 3 out of 4 of them turn to ash.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like that did actually affect me. Might be a triggering thing for some people.
He cried.
Right. So one thing about this game, and I forgot to mention, is this is a very role-play heavy game. If you're expecting to go in there and be a bunch of murder hobos and killing things and just grabbing treasure, this is not the game. But I think it's a great intro for first-level players. You do some combat, but the role-playing is pretty in-depth in this. And what do you guys think about the role-playing
I agree.
part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people to talk to.
Yeah.
That always...
Yeah, definitely.
We as players should have met the neighbors, and
I was
we were
just going to say
terrible
that
at
I kind of wish afterwards that I would have
Why?
done a little more of meeting other people around
Right.
us.
So what these guys are talking about is in chapter 2. So the chapter 1, you solve the Volo problem, right? You find his friend and everything. You get the end, Troll Skull Alley. But what we failed to do is, and our DM did try to lead us down the road,
really
but we
did.
totally
He's so
rejected.
nice.
It's like,
He's so patient
do you
with
want to
us.
check out your neighbors? Do you want to check around? No.
No.
Met with a resounding
And
hell
then-
no.
Hey, yeah, this is over here. No.
No,
By the way,
no.
if you come talk to my actual neighbors, they might know my
Right.
name. They might not.
My suggestion
Kravitz is my
to
neighbor.
you, if you're a DM running this, maybe have some of the neighbors, kind of like when you move in a new neighborhood, come up to the inn and introduce themselves, and maybe that gets them going.
Geez, where do
I
you
don't
live?
know.
We
We
don't-
actually that actually happened.
Sorry.
But
Well, you
my
did have kind
experience.
of like an explosion in the alley that kind of brought everybody out so you
Yeah.
could talk to some people at some point.
well, for what really upset me is after I read it, I went, I could have went to this book dealer and gotten these spells.
Yeah.
And that kills me. I could have got all the
I asked
wizard.
you directly, hey, you want to go over, there's this thing, you want to go? No. Okay.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Big idiot. I'm also glad, though, I didn't pursue a relationship with the barkeep at Yanni Portal, because she ends up being a what do you call
Changeling?
it? A doppelganger.
Doppelganger.
Right? Yes.
Assuming
Is that
she
a bad-
wouldn't reject you.
Is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Are you
Probably.
doppelgangist?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm doppelgangers.
Wow. Wow.
So anyway, the fireball happens. This is how it gets the story really rolling in this, and you have to investigate this explosion. So that's where the kind of the role playing is on that. So you guys want to talk about that and how that started off, maybe real briefly? It involved a nimble right. On that
Well,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, they wake up. They're in their whatever inn.
Yeah.
And there's an explosion in the alley early in the morning, and people dead. What's going on? Right outside. And so, of course, start asking questions and looking around at things. Try to start piecing together, well, what happened?
Yeah.
Because what's on your doorstep might involve us. Yeah.
Did we see? I've forgotten. It was so long ago. Did we see someone run away, or was that the woman
Someone
who
who-
owns
yeah.
that we?
I thought
There
we
were
did
witnesses.
I thought we did, or maybe
No.
someone said they saw somebody on the roof.
You talked to witnesses, and there
Yeah.
were some witnesses that saw different pieces of what happened.
Right. And so, DM, you want the players to try to question some of the people there. I don't know how you can prod them into doing that. Well, we did do some of that,
People are
actually.
tend to be inquisitive. Something like this happens, they'll start usually asking questions, and you just kind of try to work with the things they're doing to lead them into,
Right. And the reason why the fireball happened nearby is because what
Yeah.
you did in Chapter 1 causes the attention of various factions that want basically
Yeah.
your characters, your party, to be involved with their particular faction.
Yeah, but we haven't even mentioned the Stone of Galore.
yeah.
So,
So the Stone of Galore is this artifact. It is inhabited by an aboleth, and you can ask it questions, and it knows where this Vault of Dragons is, which is where the
Right.
500,000 golden dragons are.
yeah.
And it was stolen from Xanathar. I didn't actually read before here. I'm just going off of memory, so I'm pretty sure
It
I'm
is
right.
true.
Yeah.
We'll edit this out and change it if I'm wrong.
He's the one that gets fireballed.
Well, yeah, so he was he worked for Daggelt Neverember, and since you helped Floon and also rescued Rainier Neverember, thinks, well, this was stolen from the Xanathar. I can't remember if he stole it or not. I think he might have. He's trying to lie low. These guys helped, my lord's kid. Maybe I can trust them. And he's on his way to you to kind of present this and go, here.
He's on his way to us?
He was on his way to you.
Okay,
Right.
I did not realize
true.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why is because
And he gets jumped.
the reason
Okay.
why he was going to us is because, remember, he works for Neverember.
Never remember. Let's all say it
Neverember,
together.
sorry, Neverember.
Works for Nerva.
Neverember. And because we saved his son, he felt, oh, I can trust these guys. Never mind the fact that his son and him they don't like each
Yeah.
other. But that's what he thought. So he
Okay.
was going to deliver the Stone of Galore
Yes.
to us. And by the way, part of this is, just like Steve said, you need the stone to find out where the vault is. But to get into the vault, you need like 3 different keys, which changes each time, by the way, each adventure. Can you talk really briefly about those keys really quick and how...
They change each time for each adventure. We'll get to it later.
Okay, I just wonder how you
Says it
pick
all.
Well,
Okay.
I'll get to that later.
Okay. So, what you need to do is you need to get the players, DM, and if you're cheating, if you're a player, you shouldn't be listening to this. You have to find this Nimblewright, which is this automaton,
Yeah.
right? You
So
gotta
the
find
Nimblewright actually ends up throwing a bead from a necklace of fireballs. Blows up. I just said his name. What is his name?
I can't remember.
Oh yeah, anyways, blows up the guy.
That has the stone.
That has the stone, and there was Erstal Floxen and a couple of his toadies,
Right.
which are Zentarum, get the Stone of Galore off his body.
Right.
Erstal lives, the other ones die, and takes off. And that's actually how this goes down, depends on which of the 4
Seasons,
enemies,
yeah.
which season you're in, which enemy you have. We did the Castellanters in the summer. So in that one, the people who Ursula Floxen staying with end up being devil worshippers who are, with the Castellanters and are double-crossing Ursula Floxen to get the stone from him.
And why is it the Castle Lanterns are...
Hence sending the Nimblewright to blow things up. It's different in the other 3, but it's one of those things where the same thing happens, but depending on which villain you have, it happens for different
And
reasons.
why did the Castle Lanterns... What was their ultimate... What was the reason why they wanted the money?
Well, Okay. They got to power by making a deal with Asmodeus. The souls of their children, when I think they turn 9, for
They already sacrificed one already.
they already got one of their firstborn son's soul, turned him into like a Lumur.
Actually got promoted.
Yes.
I think it said Bard Devil in here. I just read it. So yeah, you went a little.
I don't remember.
So you should feel good about that. I don't know.
Sure. But basically have the souls of our children for power and fame and money and all this stuff.
That's
so
just twisted.
But then there was a clause in there, if they could provide Asmodeus with 500 gold pieces and the souls of 99 or 100 people, then
500,000.
500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, say different.
Yeah.
It's that
what's a
500,000.
zero?
In like 100 souls of people they killed, then they could spare their second 2 children, twins, from being having their souls taken.
Really
So-
pulls on your heartstrings.
Yeah, I know.
Do something about that.
I hate it when like a good parent tries to go out of the way to help their children, and then a bunch of jerks go and screw it all up.
Now, keep in mind, and this is for the DM, is that your character should never do a direct conflict with some of these main baddies. Like the Xanathar.
Yeah, and in the one
Jarlaxle or
in the first to
Manchun.
5th level, it's just these are people that are exerting influence, have some plot
Right.
they're trying to do. You're thwarting that. You would get murdered by any of them.
All
Yeah.
5 of
Yeah.
you, or whatever big your party.
But
you'd be
that's again, it's
annihilated.
in the book. They give all their like hideouts or their home bases, and it's like you'll never see this. But again, it's a campaign setting,
Right.
so maybe you don't in the first 5, but you keep going, and at some point they'll be powerful enough to, whatever their final bad guy is, actually confront them.
So let's talk about the factions, because I think after this event happened is when we started getting into factions.
Yeah, after so this is well actually I think it's let me look at the book.
Okay.
Emerald
it's,
Enclave all the way.
Joining
So
factions is-
joining, that's so. I guess so. Chapter 1 is you're saving Floon. You get the Troll Skull Alley. Chapter 2, you get Troll Skull Alley, and there's a whole section on different factions that the players can join. Some of them they'll be prompted. They'll get invitations. Other ones maybe not so much.
Didn't I have a cat?
You had a
talking
talking cat come up
That
and
was awesome.
invite you to go
That was
join
the
the
best.
Emerald Enclave.
Who
yes.
doesn't want to join?
And then a bunch of faction missions, kind of by level. And it's really not meant so much for Chapter 2 do all these faction missions. Chapter 2, I think, really, it's in this, before the fireball happens, you have this kind of period where you're kind of going, you're doing things, you're making a buck here and there. And all these faction missions to help you get faction with your...
cool
Yeah.
decorations for your manor, like
Well,
a grell.
Yeah. But there's these, you can join yourself to a power group in Waterdeep, and they'll send you and go around and do things for them. And the more things you do, the more they trust you.
Yeah.
And the more they invest in you. And so really they can happen all throughout the first adventure.
And if you're a DM, I encourage you to try to get your players into a faction. It does allow, like Steve said, to do these side quests. It kind of really fills up your campaign.
Well, and it gives you allies. So there are people you can go to, well, I don't know this.
Yeah.
We can, hey, maybe call up, maybe, I got this cursed sword that I can't let go of.
Right.
Let me go talk to
Somebody who
this
can help
person
me.
and see if somebody can help us.
Did you use the renown rules that was in there, or you just kind
I
of
just kind of
just wondering.
really, I mean, I kind of mentally tabulate, they really like Paul's character right now. They hate Steve, though. That type of thing.
Sure.
I was kind of loosey-goosey with it, but, we did a bunch of those things throughout the campaign that got you. The more you do for your faction, the more they will help you later.
Okay.
The other thing that as if you're DMing this is encourage your players to definitely take notes. You're definitely going to need
Yes.
it. This is a detective story, and so they're going to have to recall a lot of this information. So the fireball happens. We find out it's a Nimblewright. Somehow we figured out it came from the Temple of Gon because they make those things.
Yes.
Do you guys remember what happened after that, how we got there? I think we just walked there and started asking questions.
No,
Is that
because I
correct?
didn't take notes.
I took notes, but I didn't read them recently.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I was doing until life got crazy, we have like a Google Drive thing for this campaign. And after the adventure, I would write up like a page or page and a half
Yeah.
worth of just narrative of what happened. Post it to the Google Drive.
was
Tell
super
everybody,
helpful.
hey, this. Yeah, it ended up petering out because that's a lot of work.
It's
and
a lot
I'm
of work.
remodeling house
It
right
is.
now, so it stopped.
still
But
super
it does really help somehow to make sure that there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people you're going to talk to. There's a lot of stuff they're going to tell you, and somehow keep track of that for the players. Because otherwise, it can get
Well, and it's an easy.
you can get hung up because everybody forgot this one connection, or
Yeah.
who this one
Right.
person is, and so you can't like reason out. Oh, we should talk to this person because that was 3 sessions ago. Everybody forgot.
Well, it's
they
easier to
exist.
flip through your notes that you put in Chrome, or maybe you could do that on D&D Beyond. I'm not sure. Instead of flipping through and can't even read your drunk writing from before.
Right.
All the names
Well,
were
if
just.
you can go back to a couple episodes where we talk about using social media, using Google Docs to keep track. And on this adventure, you really need to do that because you need to keep track of the
There's lots of
NPCs
stuff.
and everything. There is a lot of stuff.
A lot of people.
So anyway, we go to the Temple of Gon. We find out that the Nimblewright that we were looking for was not there, but there is a Nimblewright there. They made another Nimblewright, a friend.
Uh-huh.
They were
Yes.
lonely.
Aw,
The one Nimblewright made a companion.
Yes.
Bride of
yes,
Nimblewright.
That's
yes.
really sweet.
That companion went away,
oh.
and the Castle Lanterns hired this Nimblewright. Took this
Well,
Nimblewright in,
so there's Growlhead Manor. Where is Growlhead Manor on here?
right? Well, you,
No, wait.
okay.
Let's go through here. So, because that's part of Growlhen Villa. So after that, the Nimblewright is at Growlhen Villa. Again, for different reasons depending on the villain. But that's what gets you there. The Growlhuns are a noble family. Depending on the villain, they have different alliances and reasons for being involved. But the characters are going to get there, and it's being attacked by the Zentarum. They'll interfere with that. And
Was that the
then we
family
get
where
more-
the husband was just a
Yes.
milk toast? kinda
Yes.
wishy-washy?
Yes.
And we get more information, obviously, from
Yes.
from that. We kind of find out that the Castle Lanterns are involved when we go there.
in this one, yes.
I think we find out a little bit about the Asmodeus tie.
Well,
in there.
again, like in summer, the Growlhuns are devil worshippers with the Castellanters. That's why they're involved. In the different seasons, they're actually different factions. I think they're normally Zentarum, but in this, there's the Zentarum. There's 2 Zentarum factions going on here. There's the original kind of Zentarum, and then there's Manchun is back, and he's got a bunch of his own. There's a split in the Zentarum. So
right.
so in the different, you have to. It's the same thing happens, the same people involved, but their motivations and who they belong to depends on which season you're in and which villain you've kind of chosen.
Right, and that particular chapter, which is chapter 3 of the called
Yeah.
Fireball, going through this manor house at the very end is the end of the chapter, and then that's when you start diverting into the season in which you picked. Again, these are 4
The
different
season
seasons.
will be essentially a chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to track the Nimblewright to Growlhen Manor. You're going to. It's gone by the time you get there, but you guys can track it down, and it took away the Stone of Galore and hid it somewhere, and depending on the season, it's going to have some prompt to go here to find the Stone of Galore.
Right.
And then, so chapter, was it 4?
It's chapter 6. Hell of a
No.
Summer.
The
It's 3.
Dragon season.
Oh, Dragon Season chapter
Yeah,
4.
so
sorry.
Dragon season it's basically a chase scene
Yeah.
type of chapter. It gives you 10 locations in Waterdeep, kind of I mean, there's an alley, there's a street chase, there's a mausoleum, theater, all these different places in Waterdeep where an encounter will happen.
Yeah, we were running across
And-
rooftops.
Yes. You guys cut this short, but there's 10, and I think there'll be 8 in each of the seasons.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting. It'll give you, okay, for, these 10 locations, kind of list out a little map and tell what's there. And depending on the season, there'll be an encounter scene that kind of happens there
So
as you're tracking down the Stone of Galore.
So just for the DM, so they understand this. So we did Hell of a Summer, which is chapter 6, and you're just talking about Dragon Season.
This is
chapter
just
4.
Dragon Season, yeah.
So do you go through chapter 4 and then hit the season, or do you bounce off the season and chapter 4? Because chapter 4, if you're
Well,
looking at it, says
you've
adventure
chosen a
conclusion in
season
there.
for this to start in, right? Say we chose summer, and that means that the Castellanters will be our villains. For the rest, for most of it up until chapter 4, there's some minor differences, but it all plays the same. Chapter 4 gives a list of 10 different encounter areas with encounters. And each of those has 3 or 4 different things that can happen there depending on the season. It gives a flow chart.
Right. Okay.
So
Flow charts right here.
yeah, flow chart's right there. And so you can see you're going down the line here. You choose your season, and then or the season you've chosen, that's the order they're going to go chasing the Stone of Galore from. In the summer, you guys went to that like windmill, that abandoned windmill,
Right.
and then there were actually you guys started at the mausoleum, right?
Yeah.
Because the note you got off the Nimble Right said, "Hey, I hid it here at this mausoleum in the City of the Dead." And you went there, you found dead cultists. Okay, then you talked to one, you pissed her off, but you got information out of her,
Yeah.
then you killed her,
Yeah.
because that's how you are.
Yeah. That's all I am.
Yeah. And that led you to the windmill, and then you go to the windmill, and there's more cultists, and you fight them, and then the devils are there, and they took the stone, and they're running across the rooftop, so you run after them. So that was like 3 scenes from this list of like 8 scenes to go
Okay.
through. And each of the different seasons has one of those, here's the chase, then it goes to here, then it goes to here, then it goes to here, and at each of these places there's people, there's something happening, there's a location.
Okay.
And that you should end up at the end of that with the Stone of Galore.
Okay.
So it's neat, and that gives you like 10 different spots where you can do things. And then a bunch of there's characters that can show up, and then minor NPCs and stuff where you can meet them in these places. And then it kind of gives you the flow chart, but you can mine. I mean, it's different for each one, so you can mine it for these street kids are in this one. Well, they didn't go through this scene, but I can use these guys somewhere else because
Yeah.
they're kind of cool.
Cool.
So we talked about
But you end up with the Stone of Galore as the
and we talk about how you get the gold, the 500,000 dragons. So you need the Stone of Galore, but you need 3 different keys.
we're getting there. We're so close.
So
Close.
but didn't you pick those beforehand?
No, and I'll go ahead and go through. I went
Okay.
way off book here.
Okay.
There's the way the book does it, and there's the way I did it,
Okay.
and we'll get there.
All right.
When we get there, I'll talk
All right.
all about it.
Okay. All right.
So
Are we there yet?
I know. Where are we?
Well,
We're,
we-
okay, so the whole chase scene ends up. You should end up with the Stone of Galore. I mean, you cannot end up with the Stone of Galore, and you go off and do other things, and that's fine. But the way it's written, at some point in there, you're going to actually get the damn thing.
Yeah.
You'll have the Stone of Galore in your hand.
And the Stone of Galore is an aboleth that's been turned into this stone.
Yes.
And you can ask it questions. If you tune to it, it gives you, I think, increased in abilities and some other.
It's an artifact, so I actually rolled randomly to see what things it would do for you, and I think in this case it was like +2 strength and +2 something else.
okay.
So all everyone's memories of where this money is dumped into the stone. And all those people forgot where all the money was, right?
It's an aboleth; it just knows. And it was I don't know.
I have a random question for the DM. because I've only done a couple campaigns, played in a couple. Do you think this was heavier? How often were you pulling out miniatures for the battle? I feel like you were doing it a lot. Was this kind of short battles, albeit, but was this kind of a heavy battle campaign, or was it just normal like all the other ones? Have a lot of figurines, DMs, because there's a lot of critters.
I think mostly it's lighter than a lot of them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's less combat centric.
Maybe they were
But
just more fun.
when I started DMing for you guys, I was using some miniatures, and then I stopped using them so much, and then some people said, "Hey, we didn't use the miniatures some more." So I try to
I
make
like
sure
the
to
visual
bring them
aid.
out. Yeah, no, they're cool. I paint them and I love them, and so I have no problem with that.
So I'm reading at the book, so it does say. I guess you don't.
Yeah,
pick-
it's totally this. We didn't do anything like this.
Okay,
I totally, and I'll
so-
go into what I did.
Okay, so why don't we go into what you're supposed to do? Obviously, you can do whatever you want when you're
are
the
we,
DM.
Are we to the vault keys?
We
yet,
are at
or-
the vault keys because we just finished the converted windmill.
Okay, so
When they're talking,
okay.
you should put a little, like,
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so there are the next 4 chapters, which we should cover to some extent. There's a chapter on each of the bad guys.
Right. Let's do the other stuff after we explain.
Always
Okay.
get the
Otherwise,
fog
we're
cloud
we're losing
spell.
our mojo here on this one.
Yeah,
So-
Little tip.
All right.
Fog
So,
cloud.
so with you guys, you actually skipped a bunch of your chase scenes because you got the stone early and
Yeah.
avoided some complications, but it still ended up in summer. You end up, the stone is under a tower. The vault of dragons is under this tower in, I think, the dock ward.
Oh.
And you got there, you figured out where it was from the stone, and somebody else was there. Somebody just bought this tower. One of the NPCs is a spell something, the Black Viper. She's a cat burglar. She steals from the rich, keeps it for herself. She's young, so like her, she doesn't like her parents, and she's
Yeah.
kind of almost a debutante, except she has this, for excitement, she has this, at night she goes out and she breaks into places, and
Yeah.
she's very good at it. So it's an alter ego type of thing, and she bought the tower because she knew the Vault of Dragons was under there. She had found out through her own things, but she didn't know how to get in.
Okay.
So then you guys met up with her and decided to, okay, well, let's go in together.
And this is you added this part, right? Or is this
I think
is in
that's-
the book?
I
Is
think-
it in the book? Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay. Because we just told her the truth, and then we would just worked with her, and then she didn't double cross us, which is
She did
Now,
not
for-
double cross you.
Right. For the DM at the end of the
Well,
just to let
yeah.
the DM know in the book, though you can do whatever you want because it's your campaign, is when you get the Stone of Galore, you find out that you need 3 vault keys, you know where the vault is, and you know the vault is guarded by a gold dragon. That's what it says in the book. Obviously, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and the way it goes in the book, you can kind of roll randomly, and the vault keys are really things like say, the first key might be a drunken elf, the second key, bronze dragon scale, third key is a shape changer. And it's all up to, they're kind of open-ended, so you could find, any drunken elf. If one of the players is an elf, you can get them drunk, and that can be...
okay.
I did it a little different, and that's fine. I actually have no problem. I might have should have done that type of thing. I actually expanded it. I had 3 specific keys. There's the Onyx,
unicorn, right?
the
Pegasus.
Celestite Unicorn, the Onyx Pegasus, and then the Obsidian Nightmare.
Oh, okay.
And I added on to stuff. The Celestite Unicorn actually exists in this thing on DM's Guild called Blue Alley, which is a low-level kind of maze in Waterdeep, which is kind of not a death trap, but there's an ancient wizard or powerful wizard that
Always
set
an
this
ancient
alley
wizard.
up
Yeah.
full of tricks and traps, and him and his friends sit around and scry in it and drink beer and watch people try to get through it and bet on them and all this. It's for their entertainment. There's a Celestite unicorn in there, which ends up, I use that as a vault key.
So that's not in the book?
No, that's actually a separate, like, just little adventure I got off the Games Guild. I liked it. It was nice.
Cool.
There was before you actually got into early on, before you got into the whole looking for the vault thing, you remember got hired by Victoria Castellanter to obtain this I think it was the now it wasn't the Obsidian, it was the Onyx Onyx Pegasus.
Yeah.
The Onyx Pegasus from underneath in this sunken tower in Waterdeep, and you collected it for him.
And we gave it to him.
And then we
You
gave
gave it to him. And hey, we need this now because he's trying to get into this vault too.
Right.
And so there was that, and then the third one, the Onyx Nightmare. I set on the first level of Undermountain and sent them down to go get it from there.
So the bottom line is.
So I expanded instead. This in one session.
Right.
You could probably find these keys. I kind of made a bunch of little mini side adventures for you to get the keys.
Right. So as a DM, you can make this. You can stretch it out.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Again, these are just suggestions. Drunken elf. That's pretty easy to do. But you can do what Steve did and create your own little key and do a whole little mini dungeon. So that's an idea. So we got the keys. We got the Stone of Galore. Let's talk about the vault and how we get there.
Okay. The vault is underneath this. Well, it can be in many places. Each season has a different place it will end up being when you find it.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
In the book, it's pretty simple. It's not a complex dungeon. How you did it a little differently, but in the book, it's not very complex. Yeah, didn't you put it part of a larger dungeon, or you didn't do that?
No, not the vault.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I ran the vault. Mostly like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you go in and you'll find your way. There's some tricks and traps to get through and whatnot. You find your way down to the Undervault, where there is the gold dragon shapeshifted into a dwarf, who with the
Staff,
dragon
staff of Algaron.
That's
right.
Okay, I'll trust you on that.
Yeah.
Which lets him be inside of the walls of Waterdeep, because dragons are banished from Waterdeep by magic. And he's holding all the gold for Dagult Neverember. So you go down there, and he's there, and you have to
Persuade
talk
him,
to him
basically.
and
That was
give him
hard.
a good
Right.
reason to let you take this money.
So, DMs, this is about role playing right here, because if your players decide to take on a gold dragon, well, they're stupid and they deserve to die.
Yeah.
But this is
And
this is
they
a
will.
lot, and they will.
Yeah.
But there are ways to convince the dragon to give up the gold. That's something that you'll
I
have
think
to
you
figure
guys
out.
guilted him into
Yes.
it.
We did guilt him into it.
Yes.
And
Guilt is a powerful motivator.
if the players can figure that out, or you roll the perception checks, you can convince this. Not perception, sorry, persuasion checks.
Yeah.
You can convince. This
Although
dragon to give it.
with when you're running it, it's like, I'm going to try and persuade him. If you try and persuade him with something stupid, it's like, no, it's not going to work.
Right.
But you got to make them get, they try something and they go, okay, well, no, I'm not going to let that work. But then you give them some cue as to like, it's just your basic social type of situation where try and find some middle ground of, okay, you've made a good case here.
And in this case, in the way we got the gold is just like Steve said. We kind of guilted him. We knew that a gold dragon is lawful good. A lot of people who play D&D know that they're lawful good. They worship Bahamut. The gold that the dragon is guarding was taken in a not very nice way. So using that by saying, look, what would Bahamut do?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he give the gold back to the people that it was stolen from?
WWBD.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's kind of what the angle that we took on that. But
and have a way to get it out.
Yeah.
Like a bag.
that's the other thing is it's
Or a
fun is
disc.
watching the players try to figure out how to get the gold out.
We should have brought our grocery bag, and we feel so bad that we didn't. And there's not like 500,000 paper bags there to load up. And,
We don't have that much time, but before we go into the different seasons, the other thing that you need to know is if you read the book is there is nothing good that will come from the players keeping all the gold. They can only keep part of it, but if your players get greedy, bad things will happen to them. It's in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Check it out. They'll be pestered by factions. They might be robbed. They might be arrested.
well, and yeah, it's really as Waterdeep School. You can take a finder's fee, and that's totally acceptable, and you can get favors done for you because, hey, we just returned all this gold. You guys did have to split it with the Black Viper. As per your deal,
And we gave it to the city, too.
And then you gave the rest to the city and got your finder's fee, and you're being rewarded for it in other ways other than just the money.
So what about the other seasons, Steve? I read a little bit. I can talk about I won't go too much in it, but the Spring Manus Xanathar. You actually go to the lair. You actually talk to the Xanathar. It's kind of interesting.
That would have been kind of cool.
Do you? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's in there. Xanathar's lair is actually in the book. So
Well,
it's
yeah,
pretty cool.
all their layers are in there, but it doesn't necessarily in the 1st to 5th level, since these are all very powerful villains. You're just kind of going. They've got something going on, and you thwart it, but you're not going to confront them because you can't confront them. You'd never, by 5th level, you're just not powerful enough.
No.
So yeah, Spring is Xanathar, and Xanathar had the stone, wants their stone back, wants the money, and Xanathar is just insane anyways, so
Yeah.
so that's kind of fairly straightforward there. Xanathar wants their due. Boom,
Right.
give this to me. I need fish food. Summer, and that was Spring. Summer is the Castellanters, devil worshippers, trying to save their kids. Oh, that they already, wrote off once.
Right.
Good.
Save.
Renege
their
on
kids.
their deal with Asmodeus. And you can stop that. Yay.
Amadeus.
Fall is Jarlaxle. Jarlaxle would be fun because these other villains are all like. Jarlaxle's just kind of. I mean, you could see him being in this for
And
just the laws.
Right, and his
Yeah.
motivation
She's
is
like
to
the
take the
Jeffrey-
money and to have
Jeffrey Goldblum
influence
of
back in
villains.
the city that he's from, which I'm not quite sure. what city.
Is it Luskin? I can't
Might
remember.
be. I don't know.
Yeah, he has his own city, so he needs the money. But he's also the kind of guy that if you thwart him, he's not going to really hold it against you. He'll probably kind of, he'll respect you for it. And then winter is Manshoon making a comeback, trying to take over the Zentarum. And honestly, I didn't read that much on the
Well, and he
Manshoon.
wants to eventually rule Waterdeep. Is the
Oh,
other
yeah,
thing he wants
yeah.
to do.
Rule the world.
That's right.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think
It was
overall?
super fun. It was super fun. Yeah. We got caught up on some stuff. We got a little bit distracted by we have to save the Castellanters kids, and instead of going after the
And
money.
you totally didn't save the Castellanters kids.
Yeah, not
you
at all.
Doomed them.
Yes,
Yes.
right. Yes.
But you did save,
100 orphans or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
We spoiled the hell out of Barmy.
Yes.
Man, we gave him so much stuff
And work to do.
and a lot of work. No, it's all right.
Yeah, it was fun that we got paid with a manor that needed lots of fixing while you were going through home remodeling, so you're able
Yes.
to take your aggressions out on us.
Yeah, they went on for a bit.
Freaking contractor
We-
never
we-
shows up.
Another set of broken windows.
More broken windows. Great.
Yeah.
Now we have to pay someone else.
Higher prices because of the guilds.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Rebecca, what did you
guess-
think about
I
the
guess you can do
adventure?
that. I liked it. I really liked getting one of the keys using. Well, I didn't get a key, did I? I got something using Fog Cloud. Best spell ever.
Oh,
No,
you did.
It's not the best
Yeah,
spell ever,
you,
but it was
you used Fog Cloud to very good effect to
did.
get the Celestate Unicorn.
Yes.
I thought it was great. It was a lot to keep up with. Like, what the hey is next? And I like the little poems that you gave
Yeah.
us and all the little
Yeah.
I liked, fixing up trolls.
Right.
I actually kind of like the Troll Skull Manor stuff the best. It was fun. We'd always go back
Right.
there and give
So
Barmy a new
see,
gift and see what we've done this time.
Nick and I were worried you guys would get over-focused on running an inn.
It was great.
It's
Well, we
like,
had
great,
lots of
here
cool
we are
stuff.
running an inn.
That is something the players can do. They can actually
Find
renovate
your
an
joy.
inn and have their own headquarters.
If you can
actually.
bring his reality into the DMing and then we can, maybe we want to own an inn. Maybe this is what we want.
An inn that's getting quickly filled up with
Trophies.
stuffed
things.
monsters you've killed.
Yes.
What I really liked the adventure. I thought it was really good for first players. I liked the story hooks and the side quests that were kind of all tied in. Some of them were not tied in, but it was
Some
okay.
of them were
It was
not.
fun.
The Grell
it was very
thing
fun.
was really not.
Well,
But
the girl thing is actually in here, but we added the fact that we would stuff the girl and put it in the end. We thought it would be cool.
This is cool.
But
It's
players
badass.
do
But I mean
strange
that-
things.
Yeah.
But the one thing that the DMs have to be aware of is sometimes players are not that smart, and we're not that smart sometimes. We get bogged down in separate
Sometimes.
things and there's a fact or evidence there that is clearly there, and we don't pay attention to it. It's really the job of the DM to try to prod and poke the players
Yeah.
I
back
think
into
he
the storyline.
does, and I don't think we're receptive
Yes.
to it all the
Yeah,
time.
it's actually that's always the hardest thing. How much do I give? How much do I start? When do you start going? Okay, no, this, no. Let me make it a little more
Yeah.
obvious. And how much? And sometimes it's people all see things in different ways, and things you can think with knowing what's going on. Oh, this is going to be super obvious, and it just totally isn't.
Yeah.
So, what about as DM? Any other final thoughts on this?
Yeah,
This adventure, and how do you compare it to other adventures that you've done? Is it difficult for a new DM, to pick this up?
I really don't think it's that difficult. I think a lot of people kind of sell it as being more difficult than it is. I think you can just kind of do it. My suggestion would be, add your flares, get a bunch of the little minor people involved and all that, but don't. I probably added too much and drug things out longer than it needed to take. Because you can make it way more complicated than it needs to be, and then people start losing track of what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think I would, if I'm making a suggestion, run it pretty much as is. Find a couple areas to flesh out more or side things to do, but don't go too overboard. I'd keep it to one villain, and then you guys learned who the other people were. But I didn't involve them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of you can give a bunch of background stuff that okay, I understand that this whole split in the Zentarum's happening, but doesn't have to eat up a lot of time.
Because we're easily distracted.
Yes.
Yes. We were getting distracted by the Zentarum split
Yeah.
for a while.
And so kind of it's you can I would add stuff, but try and remember to keep things focused enough to keep things moving so it doesn't drag too far, and feel free to throw in all sorts of little things here and there to set things up so when it becomes relevant after this adventure, say in the next phase when you choose, I'm going to do something new in Waterdeep with the existing some other existing villain, or you have all these things we already know who that is, we know who these orphan kids are already.
As a DM, if you're going to DM players in this, just keep these NPCs in mind, because as the players, they will lose track. They'll go off script, if you will, and that's okay. But if they keep on wandering around, you throw one of these NPCs. Maybe it's Volo, maybe it's
talking
Rainier,
horse.
maybe it's the
Maybe
talking horse.
Yeah, and
get
that's
the players back on track.
And the nice thing is you can throw all these out there just for little things. You never know who your players are going to latch on to.
Yeah.
Barmy, I had no idea you guys were going to latch on.
And by the way, we've mentioned
So-
Barmy. This is a character that
Actually,
Steve
I
gave to us.
I think he
we
might be
named
one of,
him. It was one of the halfling kids.
It's one of the halfling kids that
That didn't
survived
die.
in the fireball
Right.
Yeah.
and became your guys'
Right.
little buddy.
Yes.
Who runs Troll Skull Manor pretty much single-handedly at this point. But yeah, you don't know who, when it's great when you they meet somebody, they latch on to this character, and then you can give them a bunch more kind of screen time. But you can't force who they're going to be interested in.
Yeah.
But when they find somebody, go ahead and then go, okay, this person becomes much more important to our story.
So, guys, overall, I think like a movie review, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. What about you guys?
I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Thumbs. I'm gonna give it 3 thumbs up.
That was all right.
Okay. It was all right. Okay.
No, I liked it. It was good.
All right. So if we had a great time, and if you have an adventure you want us to review, probably won't get to it. But if you want to email us, email us at geeksofcascadia
We'll
at
get to you in 3 or 4
gmail.com.
years when we play it.
Or Facebook us at Geeks of Cascadia. I think we have Instagram, again, Geeks of Cascadia, Twitter, surprise, surprise,
Or
Geeks
just
of
call
Cascadia.
them at home, right? Do you
Yeah,
want
just
put his
call
phone
any of
number
them. One
up
of
here?
Put his phone number right
That's
there.
right.
He answers the phone
right.
24/7.
Thank you all for listening into this or watching us. I think it's D&D night, so let's go
is.
play
Let's
another
do that.
game of D&D.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Take care. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
So what do you think, Rebecca? How was that review?
I thought it was really fun and interesting. And what did you think, Steve?
I think I did an awesome job.
He did, but a special thanks to other Steve
Yes.
for, of course, running the campaign and then talking
Oh,
to us
man.
about it.
Thank you.
Steve's a great DM.
Yes,
He
he
is.
is.
He
Yes,
might
is.
be even
He's
better than
wizened.
me.
You each have different qualities. I
Yes.
thought your was it a gnome or a halfling voice or something?
Oh,
you did?
why, thank you.
I
Yeah.
thought that was the cutest little thing ever. It was
thank you.
cuter than Herbie in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh,
Hermie?
Hermie?
Hermie.
Hermie.
Not
Hermie.
Herbie.
Yes.
That was, that was a car. Dude, you should do it. You should give a little.
you know,
That's it right
we'll see.
there.
What? So, you guys doing any nerd stuff or anything?
No.
Playing Marvel Puzzle Quest
No.
still on my phone, but
You've been
Oh, that's
lacking
right, I
a little
haven't
bit.
been playing,
You need to
actually.
play.
Oh,
though.
she's
Thank
good.
you.
Probably
Please
because she's
play.
been playing Wizards United
actually, yes, I have. And you're
Yeah,
right.
she's-
it
she's
does
cheating
suck
on
up
you.
your
Gotta do
power.
with Harry Potter.
All you gotta do is play one time.
I know.
That's
I
all
just
I'm
gotta get
asking.
my daily,
All
my
I'm asking.
Deadpool's daily.
I have been playing Warriors of Waterdeep, though.
I'll just play it right
Have
now.
you?
I have.
I kind of got stuck on the Harry Potter thing, and then,
But then you
it's
quit
kinda-
it.
I quit it because it sucks all the juice out of my phone.
But it's kind of fun. I actually can see the interest waning. I mean, you gotta just stand there.
Well, it
forever
is.
and just-
It's Pokemon Go with a
Yeah.
Harry Potter skin, and it's
Yeah.
fun and all. But I walk 7 miles a day at work. I don't want to go walk in my free time.
Yes, I was a little disappointed
Right.
that walking the perimeter of my yard did not get me any kilometers at all.
Pokemon Go, I can sit in a bar, Bruce Almighty, and drink beer and play Pokemon Go because it's a Pokestop.
Right. Right.
But I can then I can walk to another thing in between beers if I feel like it. But you can't do that in Harry Potter Wizards United.
Now, nerdy stuff I've been doing is I have been watching Jessica Jones.
The current season,
Current season
I'm still finishing season 2.
is great. I love it. It's awesome. And Spider-Man Far From Home, by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be out. Hopefully I'll have seen it by then. And are you guys going to see the Avengers again? Because they got the added...
I'm really tempted. I wanted to see it again.
Me too.
Before
Me too. Maybe we should...
we
wanna go
should.
see it?
Maybe we should. We can
be cool.
interview people during it.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would love that.
While the movie's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Even better.
What do you think about Iron Man dying?
What do you think about
Oh,
these
sorry,
extra
spoiler.
16 minutes of footage that we're doing? What do you think? Let's do
it.
that.
I think that'll be great.
Hell yes.
I will film it, and
Definitely.
you guys can interrupt the people.
Definitely. So it is D&D night, and
It
I
is.
see it is D&D time,
D&D
so that's we
time.
gotta do that.
We didn't do the
Wow.
beer thing. Hold on, we didn't do the beer thing.
Okay,
That's supposed to
I
come
don't
in
know
the
what I'm
beginning.
drinking. What am I
Turbo
drinking?
Dog.
Turbo
What you're
Dog.
drinking.
Thank you.
As am I, plus coffee together.
I've got By the Horns from Three Maniers Brewing.
And of course, a big thank you to Around the Table for allowing
Always.
us to drink beer and podcast in your back room and playing D&D.
Yes.
Timmy.
Mainly the D&D.
Yeah, yes, yes. So with that, I think that's all I have. You guys have anything last words?
Anything you want to wish the people?
Other than embrace the nerd, and I hope you make that saving throw.
Woohoo.
Oh!